Hello and welcome to the Mad Leprechaun. My name is Mert Walsh. Today I have been riding and I'm going to continue to ride the Harley Davidson Pan America 1250 ST. If that's something that interests you, please do stick around and stay tuned. Until after the intro. Well, there it is. The Harley Davidson Pan America ST. Let's take it for a little ride. So I took out the original Harley Davidson Pan America not long after the first version of this bike came out. There's been several updates done to the bike over the years. I know that the front end of this bike is slightly different to the bike that I took out because it's got a 17-inch front wheel. So I'm going to ride the same route that I took back in 2021 and see if I can feel any difference. So this is the ST version. It doesn't come with the fancy ride height adjustment. It doesn't come with any hand guards. It doesn't come with a tall screen. It's not adjustable. It doesn't come with a center stand. It doesn't come with a steering damper. So compared to the old singing, old dancing Pan America, your equipment is less. However, it does come with a quick shifter. And I'm pleased to say it works an absolute treat. So this is the age-old wind buffeting test. Because the screen is significantly smaller than the standard Pan America, I wanted to see how much air blast at motorway speeds I would get whilst cruising along on a fast dual carriageway. So here we are at 70 miles per hour, and we've got cruise control. We're now cruising at motorway speeds. And I would say there's no wind buffeting to the top of my helmet at all. I've got a nice calm, still air coming to my chest. It's not buffeting, it's not, it's calm air. But yeah, it's good. Weather protection to the top half of me is good. Right, let's switch cruise control off. Just press the back button and switch the cruise control off. The suspension might not be all singing, all dancing electronic, but it's handling the bumps on the motorway, the expansion joints, the joins on the motorway. And you do, let's face it, we're on a British motorway, it's never going to be the smoothest thing in the world. Yeah, so far so good. Like it. The suspension is still by Showa, and I shall go through some of the more in-depth specs when we stop. I remember the first time I rode the Pan America but just how impressed I was with the engine. I absolutely love the engine on this bike. Now I know for the Harley Davidson purist, it's not for everybody, but it's undeniable. This thing can get along. It is a departure from the heritage of Harley Davidson V-twin air-cooled engine. However, this is a 60-degree V-twin water-cooled engine. 4-valve head, double overhead cam, and I shall go through the power of the engine, power output, etc., etc. when we stop. This bike feels slightly more sporty in the leg position than I'm used to, but it doesn't feel overly cramped. I'll put a piece of video in of me sitting on the bike so you can see what I look like. I'm 6'5", I'm quite tall, got quite long legs. So yeah, I thought when I rode the previous, or the original version rather, that the front end felt heavy. Now I was being particularly picky. It's my job as someone who does a review to be picky, but let's not get too hung up on it. I thought the front end felt a tad heavy. Keeping in mind, and I'll only mention this once, I ride a GSA 1250 and the front end of that isn't light. So I was intrigued and interested to find out just how heavy this front end of this felt with the smaller front wheel. Could be good, and so far I think it is. It feels like I'm sitting lower down into the bike. The saddle on this is lower. It's unadjustable, however you can buy different seats and raise yourself up. I have to say, it almost feels sporty. Not really, it kind of does, it feels sporty. So there's 3 riding modes: rain, road and sport, and I have it in road. And I didn't ride too far kind of in traffic, but so far I think that the throttle response is really good and very smooth, so the fueling is really nice. Well, in traffic, and yeah, it's not chuggy, it's not snatchy. Brakes are good. In fact, the brakes are very good. Yeah, I don't have a very far to... Look, there's so much bend on my knee. As an adventure bike, this would definitely suit someone of a shorter stature. Having said that, me being 6'5", I still fit. And the way I fit on the bike, it feels kind of sporty. One thing I did say the last time I rode the Pan America, yes, this is a departure from the traditional air-cooled engine, but you can still tell it's a Harley Davidson. There's a certain character about the engine. Unlike some of the modern competition that do the you know, the split cranks and whatever and pretend to be a V-twin, this actually is. I am going to get onto some twisties in a minute. I have a spot that I want to pull over and do my walk around, and then we're going to do some twisties. The saddle's actually quite comfy. My bottom is taken care of. there's more than enough room for my button. So I like to ride with my balls of my feet on the pegs, and my ankle's kind of in line with my hip, and I am pretty much upright, but I do feel like I'm forward like a little bit. So the gearbox and the engine combination, I don't really feel like I have to keep on working the gearbox up and down. Yes, there's a V-twin, and yes, it is very torquey, but it doesn't suffer because of its torque and its power nature. So it's not like, get me in a lower gear, get me in a higher gear. It's very, very nice. Right. Let's find a piece of grass, pull in, and do a walk around. So there it is, the Harley Davidson Pan America ST. Launched back in 2021, I rode the first version of the Pan America and I was impressed by it. It appears that the bike hasn't gone through many changes since then, but the most obvious with this bike is its 17-inch front wheel. The bike comes in 3 different colours: grey, black, like this one, and red. So let's turn on the bike and see what is on the TFT screen. The TFT screen is 173 millimeters, 5.5 inches in old money. Lots of information on there. You have the engine temperature, voltage, the fuel gauge. You can connect your phone, the ambient temperature, gear indicator, rev counter around the edge, speedo in the middle, fuel range, trip 1 and trip 2, traction control and the ABS, engine warning light and the oil warning light. So there is more than enough information on your TFT screen. Oh, and of course, up the top in the middle is the mode indicator. It's got rain, road and sports. And I may have to put it into sports in a moment and see how that feels. Well, it'd be rude not to. If I'm honest, I'm not really sure what this is. I'm going to hazard a guess that when you have your phone Bluetoothed to your TFT screen, you can play music. This works effectively as a remote control for your music system. I'm not sure, but if I'm wrong, I'll put a thumbs down on the screen, okay? So we've got a lot going on over here. We have cruise control for set and minus, plus and minus, forward and backwards. That switches it on, that sets it. Then you can switch it off again by the switch on the back. Your PA switch for your headlights, so high beam, low beam, heated grips. So this button is for your trip, your range 1, or your ode meter, your range, trip B, ode meter, and you're back to your temperature again. So that is what that one does. This helps you navigate the TFT screen, brings you into the TFT screen, and then to come back out again you press home. I'm not going to start fiddling around with it. It is an initial first impressions review, not an in-depth one. Indicators on and off, and a horn. Right, let's look around the bike a bit more. So the engine on the Pan America ST is a liquid cooled 1252cc Revolution Max 60-degree V-twin engine. It has 4 valves per cylinder and it's a double overhead cam engine. The power output is 150 brake horsepower, or alternatively 112 kilowatts at 8,750 RPM. The torque figure is 128 Newton meters of torque at 6,750 RPM. So as I said before, the suspension is by Showa, 47 millimeters in diameter. It's an inverted style fork, manually adjusted suspension for preload and dampening. The rear shock is by Showa. It's a monoshock, also adjustable for preload and dampening. The suspension travel, both front and back, is 7.5 inches or alternatively 190 millimeters. And that's the suspension front and back. The brakes are by Brembo. Dual radial mounted monoblock 4-piston calipers. The disc size are 320 millimeter discs. And round the back you have a 1-piston floating caliper, 280 millimeter disc, and that is the brakes. And they work really, really well. The seat height on the bike, as I've been saying whilst I've been riding along, the bike doesn't feel overly tall, which for some people will be an absolute blessing. If you want a motorcycle of this sort and you're not long in the leg like I am, this could be the bike for you. So the seat height is 825 millimeters. The weight of the bike is 254 kilograms, or if you're in the US of A, 560 pounds. The length of the bike is 89.2 inches. Fuel capacity of the fuel tank is 4.7 gallons or 21.2 litres. The tyre up front, even though it does say Harley Davidson on it, is actually a Michelin, and it's really sticky and yeah, gave good feedback and confidence inspiring thus far. The tyre size on the front is a 120/70 and round the back is a 180/55 R17. As I said before, the engine on this bike is awesome. The quick shifter is a welcome added extra. I can't grumble really. I've really enjoyed riding the bike so far. The price on the road is $16,995, but please do contact your local Harley Davidson dealer to find out what the recommended price is. Or even better, go along to Harley Davidson Newmarket and tell them I sent you. Anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's get back on the bike and bring it back to them.
You can feel a little bit of a thump. Character, I think it's called. So a little bit of a thump or a vibration through the saddle, but it's not vibrating so much that it's making anything go numb. Yeah, it changes direction so well. I am really super impressed. I really am. I'm super impressed. I don't know if they've done anything else to the geometry of the bike other than the front wheel. For me, it's transformed the ride of the bike. It really has. It glides around corners now. Okay, so this doesn't have all of the all singing, all dancing suspension on it, but I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all.
chassis feels good. So going around corners, hitting little bumps. The suspension feeds back nicely to me, so I know what's going on with the road surface. But there's no wallow or sagging or movement mid-corner, so it's allowing the tyres to do the work. Confidence inspiring, I would say. So let's see how the suspension and everything copes with a B road. We've done a fast A road, we've done a medium fast twisty A road. Let's do a bumpy B road. And then, unfortunately, and I mean this, unfortunately, we've got to bring it back. Last year I did a video of a look back on the motorbikes that I had reviewed throughout 2024, and one of the categories was most surprising. I have to say, I have ridden 3 motorcycles this year, and this so far is definitely the most surprising and one of the most rewarding. I wanted to like it, and I do. I love the fact that they still have written on the mirrors, objects in the mirror may appear closer than they are. Made particularly famous by Meatloaf. And no, I'm not going to try and sing his song. I don't think there's an awful lot more I can tell you, really. Apart from the engine is an absolute stonker. Now I know an awful lot of people bang on about, oh, Harley Davidson, ooh, negative, boo. You know, there's so many different manufacturers out there, and people say negative stuff about them. Go into the whole thing with a bit more of an open mind. Go to a dealership and ride one and see for yourself. You'd be amazed. Because I am. I like it. I really do. It's definitely still 30. Negatives. Have we got anything particularly standout negatives? If you're tall like me, and clearly I am tall, the bike feels mildly cramped, but not so much that I want to get off and don't want to ride it again. The indicator, when you switch the indicator on, is easy enough to find, but the button doesn't go in and give you a nice click, or you can't really feel anything distinct with your thumb. Now I am being particularly picky now. Has it got self-cancelling indicators? I don't know. Do you know what? We'll do a little test in a minute and we'll find out. It does. So I purposely left the indicator on that time, and it has got self-cancelling indicators. It really isn't a bad place to be at all. And that really is, you know, what I said about the indicator and it being slightly cramped. That's it. I don't really have an awful lot more negative to say about it. The looks are subjective. The fact that it doesn't have an awful lot of the other equipment, it's built to a price point. It's not really an issue, but clearly if it's an issue for you, then it's an issue. I'm sure Harley Davidson are more than happy to work out all of the relevant parts that you want and retrofit them. That's it. Okay, I think we're going to cut at the finish and ride on. If you have liked this video, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't liked this video for any particular reason whatsoever, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ding dong the notification bell if you'd be so kind. And then hopefully, all being well, I shall see you in another one. Until next time people, take care of yourself. Bye bye.